Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. How you all doing, guys? Hope you're generally fine. Today video I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful collar kaftan dress. Let's get to it. So this is the adire print I'm using alongside the plain satin fabric that I'll be using for the neck design. Okay, yes guys, this one is quite detailed, so you need to stick around to the end of this video so that I will take you through the entire process. Okay, yes, so I'm going to definitely use a pattern paper for this. Okay, I'll be using it to draft this out first before transfer it to my fabric. So first of all, what I'm going to cut out is for my back piece. So assuming we have our pattern paper folded already on fold like so, I'll be making my markings now. So my startup line is going to be from the edge there. So the first thing I want to do now is to indicate the shoulder width I'm working with, which is 16 divided by 2, that is 8. Okay, now from that shoulder width I've already marked out there, if you check out what you have from there, you'll be able to determine the length of the sleeve. And what I have here is 11, which is okay. But of course, if you want it longer, when you are done drafting your pattern, you're placing it on your fabric, then you can extend it. Okay, now the next thing I'm doing now is to take my slope. So from that very edge, you see I came down by 1 inch, right? Then at the other end there, I'll mark 3 inches there. Okay, now so from that point of 3 inches, I'll connect it to the 1 inches to get my slope. So you can see me, I've gotten my slope there. Now indicating my neck width again of 3 inches, that's what I'm using. But for the back neckline, I'm using 1 inches, okay, for the neck depth. 3 inches for the neck width, 1 inches for the neck depth. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and make a curve there. You can see that is what I just did now. Okay, now so this is for the back neckline, right? Yeah, so the next thing I want to do now is to indicate the sleeve opening. Okay, so from that point of my slope, I'm going to do a sleeve opening of 10 inches. That's what I want. But because I know I'm going to be making some joinings at that shoulder point there and also below, so I'll add extra 1 inches, which makes it 11. So by the time I'm done hemming, it will go back to 10 inches. Okay, now the next thing now is to take note of that sleeve opening where I'm already marked my 11 inches. I'm going to extend the line now to make that my chest line. Okay, so that's what I'm doing right now. Okay, I hope you understand. From that sleeve opening, I'm making a straight line now. I'm going to call that my chest line. So that's where I'm going to imputing my bust circumference. So I'm working with a bust circumference of 38 divided by 4, and that's 9.5. You can see me marking that down. Then I'm adding extra 3.5 inches for my seam allowance. Okay, 3.5 inches, that's how much of it I want. If you want yours to be lesser, feel free to do that. If you also want it to be more, go ahead and do that. Okay, yeah. So the next thing now is to indicate the waistline. So from that top, I'm marking out my waistline at 17 inches there. So you can see me marking that down. Go ahead and rule the straight line. So of course, on that waistline, I will impute my waist circumference. So I'm working with a waist circumference of 36 divided by 4, and that is 9 inches. So I'll go ahead and mark that down as well, and also put in my 3.5 inches. Having in mind my 3.5 inches is both for seam allowance and for ease. Okay, yeah. Then the next one is of course the hip line at 24. You can see me still placing my tape at the top end there and also indicating 24. Go ahead now and also rule down my straight line. That's for the hip line there. And at that line there, I'll also impute my hip circumference. So I'm working with 44. That's for the hip circumference, divided by 4. That's 11. So I'll go ahead and add my extra 3.5 inches as well. Okay, yeah. So that's it, guys. Go ahead now and connect all these points. So this is how far we can go. So this pattern paper, there's no point stretching it to my desired length. All I need to do when I'm placing it on my fabric, I will just extend it from that hip line all the way to my desired length. Okay, yeah. So we're done with the sides there. So the next thing I want to do now is to go inwards. At that my sleeve opening, I'm going to go inwards by 1 inches. Okay, 1 inch. So this is actually optional. You can leave it straight like that, or you can also do this. So this one just helps your sleeve opening there to be well relaxed, okay, on towards the armhole. Like I said, it's optional, okay. Yeah, so that's it, just going inwards by 1 inch there. So at that point of my sleeve opening, I will now create my armhole curve. You can see me making my curve there. And guys, we're just done creating our sides there. Yeah, so we're practically done here. So the next thing I'll do now is just to go ahead and cut this out. So you can see me cutting through the sides, and of course that sleeve opening. So this is the back piece. We're good to go. So I'll go ahead and set this aside, then so we can start for the front. Okay, now so this is what I have for my front piece. So what I'm going to do now is to take note of from that top point, I'm going to mark 5 inches. So this 5 inches I'm marking is what is going to represent what my collar. I'll use it to do my built up collar there. So 5 inches away. So from that line, that's going to be my start up line. Okay. Yeah, if you don't want to be confused, you can actually fold it inwards, but just know that that point is the start up line. So from that start up line, you can see me indicating what 3 inches there. I'll also go ahead what and take 1 inches from that very end. Remember, that's what we did for the back piece. I'll go ahead and create what the slope. So everything we did for the back piece is just what I'm going to repeat here right now. Okay, now from that slope, remember we also did a sleeve opening of what 11 inches. So I'm going ahead to mark that down as well. Then from that sleeve opening, extended the lines all the way, and also we call this what our chest line, right? Yeah, so going ahead to label that. So from the chest line there, I will be imputing my bust circumference. From the top there, I'm indicating my waistline as well. We're going to put in the waist circumference, and of course also the hip line. So remember we took away 5 inches already, so that has shortened what the length, right? But there's still no problem at all. I'm just going to make that ending part my hip line. Like I said, when you're placing it on your fabric, all you need to do is just extend it what to your desired length. Okay, yeah. So go back to the chest line. I'll put in my hip circumference, my bust circumference, sorry, which is 38 divided by 4, that's 9.5. Remember we added extra 3.5 inches, right? On the waistline, the same thing, 36 divided by 4, 9 plus 3.5 inches. And on the hip line, 44 divided by 4, 11 plus 3.5 inches. That's just all. Like I said, is what we did for the back that we're just imputing here. So you can see me connecting my points there. You can see this. So remember at that sleeve opening, I said we came inwards by 1 inches. Remember that. Remember I also told you this is optional, right? Yeah, so I'm just marking that down. And of course, from that the armhole point, we're now going to what create our armhole curve. Okay, on that chest line there, we're going to go ahead what and create our armhole curve. And you can see we're done with the side. So you see this is exactly what we did for the back piece. Yeah, so that's it there. Now the next thing I want to indicate now is the neckline. This is for the front, right? Now it's a neck width of 3, the same neck width of 3. We are still taking note of that. Okay, and a neck depth of 10 inches. So I am using 10 inches. So please feel free to use the neck depth of your choice. You can do 8, you can do 9. Okay, yeah, if you don't want it to be so deep, right? Yeah, so you can do 8, you can do that, but I'm marking out 10 inches. So I'll just go ahead and connect it to my width, and it's going to give me what a V line shape neckline, right? Yeah, so that's what we have here. So you can see this now. Okay, so it is time for us to create our built up collar, right? Now for me to do that, now I'm going to take note of what I have on my back piece. See my back piece, I'm going to measure what I have on my neckline there. Mind you, yours might be different. Okay, so I'm taking note of what I have there now, and I have about over 3.5, 3.7. So I just make sure I use exactly what I had there, just like 3.7 there. So what I will do now is to mark that 3.7 upward from that line. Just follow the shape of that V upwards. You can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to indicate what that 3.7, okay, following that shape in a slant form like that. You can see this. That's just what I did here. Then I will add 0.5 inches as well. Okay, So I'll add 0.5 inches, so I'll extend it upward again by 0.5 inches. You can add it up to the 3.7, I mean whatever your neckline, you can just add your 0.5 inches at once before extending it, whichever way. Okay, now after that, now I'm now going to choose the neck width, the collar width rather. The collar width I'm using now is 2 inches, but I'm also adding 0.5. That's why I'm marking 2.5. Okay, so you can do 2 if you don't want it to be as wide as mine. You can do 2 inches, is also okay, but I'm doing 2.5 here. So you can see now from that point I marked it straight down to that starting point, and from there also I'm connecting it to the deepness there, to that neck depth. So you can see what I'm doing. This is straightforward. So you can decide to curve this a little bit, okay, which is what I did, but I'm thinking I might later change my mind. Okay, I'll later change my mind, and so whatever works for you. If you want to maintain the curve shape, fine. Okay, now so see how the cutting is going. That side is going to be unfold, right? So you can see how my hand is going through and all the way to the side. It's as easy as that, right? Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead to cut. So I just remember when I was cutting this, there was something very, very funny that happened. You're just going to experience it right now. So you see, I've already demonstrated how the cutting is going, but voila, I went ahead to cut through the neckline. Now that was disastrous. I'm not supposed to do this, right? This is a very, very big one, a big blow right here. So I'm not supposed to cut this. I mean, I just showed you how the cutting is supposed to go, right? And here I am cutting through. But hey, there's no worries here. There's still room for amendment, okay? So all I did was to what? Take my paper tape to fix it back. So this is the reason why using the pattern paper was ideal. Imagine if this was the fabric I was cutting directly. Yeah, and talk about me, I take that risk a lot. I usually do cut on my fabrics direct, but my body and soul has to be there. I dare not make this mistake, okay? Yeah, but please, it's very important, make use of the pattern paper if you want to cut. So I made this mistake, so I decided to amend it immediately by using my paper tape to cover up that part that I mistakenly cut through. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just going ahead to, cover it up back. Okay. All right. So, I mean, yeah, this kind of happens sometimes. Oh, God. This was a lifesaver, honestly. So, yeah, I went ahead to fix it all. And after that, I was able to do the right thing. So you can see as if nothing happened. So I'm go ahead to cut through the right way. Okay, so following the exact same shape, cutting through from that neckline. You can see where I'm going through now. You stop there and go the other way through the shoulder slope. So this is how I'm supposed to go. I mean, I actually showed you this and I still went ahead to make that mistake. So yeah, that is it there. You can see we're done. So just go ahead and cut the sides and also the armhole, and of course all the way to the sleeve opening. And guys, our front pattern is ready. You can see how beautiful this is looking already. So we're done here. This is actually straightforward, trust me guys, there's nothing difficult here. Just take your time, go through it again, and you will understand this. Okay, yeah, so you can see how the front neckline is. I remember I told you that cuff part, that I might change my mind and cut it out. Okay, so I just went ahead to straighten it. Okay, so this depends on what you want. So I just went ahead to cut off that little curve I initially put on that neck depth part there, just to straighten it. And here we have it now. So this is my front pattern and we are good to go. So you can see this now, all the way you extend it, like I said, if you want to place it on your fabric. So the same thing for my back pattern, so there's no need of taking off the pins. Yeah, so when we're placing it on the fabric, you would understand it better. Yeah, so the next thing I'm supposed to do now is to what, create my design. Okay, I'm going to be creating my design. So but one thing I'll do, I'll just go ahead and draft out everything first. So once I'm done, I'm not going to be cutting it out yet. I'll first of all use the pattern to cut out my main dress from my fabric. Then after that, I can now use the what I've already drafted out and cut off my pattern. Okay, I hope you understand. So I'm just going ahead now to create my design. So here is just for you to be creative. You will not necessarily do what you have on the thumbnails there. You can just make something different. So I didn't really follow the exactly what I had on that thumbnail. Okay, so quite similar but not exactly the same thing. Just do whatever you feel. Okay, yeah. So I went ahead, I first of all used my pencil or my pen to just, draft it. I was a little bit picky on the design to do, but I ended up, doing something just simple and straightforward like so. Okay, yeah. So this is what I arrived at. So that's it. We have our pattern, our neck design there, so you can see this now. Yeah, so that's just it. So like I said, I'm not going to be cutting this out. Yes, I'm just discarding those lines. Those lines are the ones from the our drafting. Okay, yeah, so that you see the actual shape of the design. Yeah, so I'm not going to be cutting it out. Like I said, once I'm done drafting out my main piece for my fabric, then I can now cut the designs out. Okay, yes guys, so that's just it guys, we're done here. So I'll go ahead now and place this on my fabric. And so you can see this now, I have placed it so you can see my length, the desired length that I want. Don't forget to add your seam allowance at the lowest part. So you can see that the length of the pattern, you can see is we have our fabric extended there. So if you want to maintain the length of the pattern, all you need to do is just to cut out that excesses there. But like me, I wanted to extend it. That's why you can see how I'm extending the sleeve opening and also what, marking out the shape. So you can see this now. All I need to do is to take it straight down, right? Yeah, so but because of I want a little bit of freeness at the lowest part, so I decided to A-line my own. Okay, so this is it straight down. This is how it's meant to be if you want it so, because with enough allowance you can still move, but I just want mine to be A-line, and that is why I extended. You can see what I did there. So it's just like 3 inches on the lowest part, just aligned it there, and that's all. That totally depends on what you want, right? Yeah, so I'm just going ahead to cut this out. You can see. And remember also we slanted that sleeve opening part, so because I extended it, I also have to indicate that as well. So you can see this now, also cutting out the neckline. So this is for the back, right? And we're done here. You can see it's as easy as that. Okay, yeah. So that's it. So I'm not going to be adding a pocket, so I just indicated the waistline there at 17. I'll go ahead and notch it. Okay, so I just notched it that so that when I'm fixing in my pocket, it will be visible. That's just what I did there. And this is it for the back piece. It's all ready and good to go. Yeah, so the next is the front piece. You can see this. Yeah, this is looking so beautiful. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead now and cut this out. So just like I did for the back piece, I took note of the desired length. Okay, took note of where I'm going to be marking out my pocket, and of course I extended my sleeve length. You can see what I'm doing there. So just marked out the shape, just following through what we did for the same back piece as well. But because you remember that the front pattern was a little bit shorter, so I just had to bring out the back piece to get the exact length of where we stopped, and it's from that hip line there that I A-lined mine. Okay, that's why I brought back that front piece so you can see it. Okay, yeah, so that's it guys, we're done there with the sides, and you can see how this is going. So I'm going ahead to cut it. Guys, if at this point you've not subscribed to my channel, come on guys, what are you waiting for? Please smash that subscribe button. I appreciate this a whole lot. And of course, if you've not on the notification bell, please do that. Okay, this helps you get notified every single time I upload my weekly videos. And don't forget to like, share with friends. I will appreciate this a whole lot. Please guys, I am begging you, please do this for me. I will appreciate this. So you can see I'm cutting through. Don't worry, I didn't make this mistake again. Very careful. You can see I'm cutting it out right. And yeah guys, we have this. Our front piece is all ready. Right, good to go. All right, so you can see how this looks. So the next thing now is to start joining my piece. So opening this up, this is what my front piece looks like. Yeah, so the next thing now is to create my neck design, right? So now that I've drafted out the front piece, so I can now cut off my neck design. Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. So you can see me just following the shape, the exact same shape, and cutting through my design. You can see I'm going ahead to do this, and now we have our neck designs ready. So I'll go ahead and place it on my satin fabric. So what I like to do is to iron my interfacing first, okay, which I did just to make everything easy. I'll go ahead and now place my pattern paper. So you have to be very careful at this point. Just make sure that you are placing it the way you imagine that you are fixing it on your mannequin. Just imagine how your pattern is facing. That's how you should place it on the right side. Don't place it on the wrong side, because if you do, you're going to have the reverse position of your design. I hope you understand. Make sure you're placing it on the right side like you see me doing. And you can also see that I'm marking out 0.5 inches extra at every point of this shape. You can see, very very important. Okay, yeah, because we're going to be top stitching on the fabric. Okay, and also there are some part that is not really necessary, but I intentionally marked it all through so that when I'm attaching it, I'll rather trim off excesses than run into shortage. So please, it's very important. That's why you can see me marking my 0.5 inches all through. Okay, yeah, so that's just it guys. You can see this. I'll go ahead now and cut all my piece out, right? Yeah, so our neck design is good to go. The reason why it's better to was ironing your interfacing, you just have everything ready. There's no point doing that again. So that's it guys. You can see how this is looking. So we have our neck design right now. Yeah, so the next thing now is to start joining the fabric. So the first thing I will do now is to take my neck design on my plain fabric. I'm going to be sewing it to my main fabric. So this is going to be the right side of the design to the wrong side of the fabric. After that, I will flip it to the right side. That's what I'm going to do now. I'll go ahead and sew that V-neck shape. And here it is, I've gone ahead to do that. So what I'll do now is to trim off all the excesses I have there, and I'll go ahead and notch. I'm notching it all through. You can see, notch it, then I would now deepen the neckline. So the exact neck depth I actually drafted that when I was cutting out my design, I went upward by 1 inch. So now that I'm notching it, I'm now notching it to the exact neck depth. I hope you understand that. Yeah, so just the notching. So after that, you go ahead and bring it to the front. But before doing that, I also like to top stitch. Okay, just spread out that part open. When you spread it open, then you top stitch towards the fabric, not on the plain fabric. After you top stitch, it will help it to be well relaxed. Then of course, go ahead and give it a very good press. Okay, yeah, so after that, you can now sew. You can see, just folding all those extra inches. You can see, just fold it the way I'm demonstrating, and then you top stitch following the shape of your design. You can see what I'm doing right now. Yeah, so we're just going to sew all this through. Okay, then the only part that will be left open will just be the upper part there. Okay, yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. I'll just go ahead and top stitch all that, then I'll show you the next step. And here guys, you can see I've gone ahead to top stitch all this. I've also given this a very good press. Like I said, these are the parts that are open now, right? Yeah, so it's time to join it there on the collar there. So joining it, making sure that the plain fabric is standing alone with the plain fabric, and our main adire with its order, right? Just the way you see it, and go ahead and sew. So you can see how this looks. You can see it now, looking so beautiful. So you can see our collar is ready. So it's time now to join it to the wrong side. So placing what the back piece over it, right side facing each other. The first thing I want to do is to get the center point of the neckline. So you can see me folding that neckline of the back into two. I'm going ahead to notch the center. Okay, now that I've notched marked the center there, I'm going to make that center point of the back neckline to match up what with that center point of the collar. That's where we already have that seam allowance. You can see that. So just carefully pin that down. You're going to sew from that center point all the way to the end of the sleeve opening, and of course to the other way round. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm going to do right now. So you can see me using my pin to demonstrate that. So just go ahead and just pin it down, then after that you will sew it. Okay, yeah, so by the time you're done stitching it, if you flip it back to the right side, you can see how this is looking. This is looking so beautiful. I mean, I just pinned it and it's looking like this, right? How much more when you sew it? So this is so beautiful. So after that, you can now go ahead and what sew the edge of your sleeve opening. This is best time to sew it. Okay, yeah, that's it. So that's just it, guys. Then once you're done with that, then you can bring up everything together. Just arrange it firmly and make sure that everything is matching up right, the pocket to the pocket, right? Then it's time for you now to join the entire side. So at this point, you must have hemmed the edge of your sleeve. Then just take it from that sleeve to the armhole, through the pocket, just the way I'm demonstrating, and sew it all the way what straight down, right? Yeah, so after that now, do the same thing to the other side as well, and of course hem the lowest point. And guys, this outfit will be ready. Believe it or not, we're done. It's as easy as that, guys. Trust me, it's easy. It's not difficult. If you're a bit confused, just go over it again. I'm sure you get it right. That is it, guys, on how to make this very beautiful built up collar kaftan dress. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me today. I hope you find this helpful. Please, if you do, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Okay, I'll really appreciate this a lot. And don't forget also to turn the notification bells if you have not done that, so I really get notified every time I upload my weekly videos. Thank you so much, guys, to my subscribers. You guys are amazing. See you on the next one. Bye.